University of California. Lane 2, Stanford University. Lane 3, Oregon State University. Lane 4, University of California B. Lane 5, Gonzaga University. Lane 6, University of British Columbia. This is event number 84, Men's Collegiate, second varsity 8, grand final. Conditions still persist down here at the starting line. Cox is not having to do much sculling to keep that bow pointed to starboard, as there's still a cross tailwind.
University of British Columbia.
Here's the pole.
Attention. Go.
And we have a start for race number 84, Men's Collegiate, second varsity 8. Very crisp, clean racing starts being executed here. Right now it's a combination of two California crews as your leaders. Early race leader in lane 1, University of California A boat, followed by its B boat in lane 4. Third position goes to Stanford, followed by Gonzaga, who's being pressed by University of British Columbia out in lane 6. The trailing crew is
event 85.
Oregon State. Past the 250-meter mark now, it's the Golden Bears in lane 1 with about a boat length advantage over California B boat in lane 4, who sits 5 seats up on Stanford University. Then we go out to the outside. University of British Columbia is in that 4th spot, followed by Gonzaga and Oregon State trails. 500 meters gone now. The A boat from the University of California passes that mark on the lead with its B boat in 2nd position. And now University of British Columbia pushing back for that 3rd spot with Stanford. And then it's Gonzaga followed by Oregon State. That's the call at 600 meters.
Event number 84, the Men's Collegiate second varsity grand final. Quickly checking our lane assignments. University of California A boat currently on the lead. Stanford University is in lane number 2. Lane number 3, Oregon State. Lane number 4, and battling for the lead is the University of California. That is their B boat. Gonzaga is in lane number 5, and the University of British Columbia, making a nice move right at the 500-meter mark, is in lane number 6.
Yes, we're seeing what's reflected in the heat times here. Cal A and Cal B are the class times from the heats. Cal A did a 6:06 in the heat. The next fastest time out of the heats was Cal B at 6:18, which is a big gap. I mean, that's nearly 12 seconds between the A and the B boats. But everybody else in the race was behind them on times. So we're seeing Cal A push out. We're seeing Cal B following them. Stanford, of course, would never give anything away to a Cal boat, whether it was a boat race or a goat race, and they will be performing above themselves in order to try and push back at these two Cal boats.
And this is exciting. I am having a great time watching the Cal A and B kind of duke it out for bragging rights. Seems like there's a lot of sorting out to do as the spring unfolds, but good news for Cal, they've got two strong candidates to pull from, either making their varsity even faster or making a dominating JV. You got some bragging rights coming. It looks like that is the B boat cruising, seeing if they can throw punches at that A boat, and that's exactly what I would be doing if I was in that boat. Feisty, feisty.
And I think Stanford are trying to come back at the B boat. Stanford in lane 2 as you look down the race course and the white tops, and they seem to be trying to push back at the B boat out in lane 4 from Cal, but the Cal A boat still has that commanding lead in lane 1. Trailing at the moment is the Oregon State crew in lane 3, And out on the far side, we have UBC and Gonzaga locked together in a private duel of their own.
On the lead right now is the California A crew, and they have led almost from the outset, and they've got some water depth and opening between themselves and the Cal B crew, which is out in lane number 4. And then it's almost across the board right now between Stanford, UBC, Gonzaga, and Oregon State. Lagging badly in the beginning, has begun to edge themselves back into the situation. But somebody's going to have to find a turbo blaster here to catch up with this Cal A crew, because they're running away and hiding.
I feel like they are trying to make a statement here that selection's not done. This is dominating from lane 1. They're cruising 36, but not cruising. You can just see that bend, lever, and that big old shove. That's great.
University of California on the lead. University of California in second place. Wait a minute. It's the A boat in the lead, and the B boat is in second spot, both from the University of California. And as Mary and I talked about yesterday, this depth of program really launches your number 1 crew way up in the activity, because they're pressed all the way and nobody gets an opportunity to relax. This is the Cal A boat moving along ever so smoothly, running it out at about 41. I think they're just jumping it up there for drill, and no real reason for it except maybe a practice time. And they also want to impress their coach, because they have now thrown the jets on and are flying down to the finish line, even though they have like a 4 boat length of open water lead over the B boat. Now some interest coming up here as Oregon State has come out of nowhere to challenge for that 3rd position. UBC is out on the far outside, followed by Stanford, and then Gonzaga has fallen off a bit. So we might have an interesting finish here between UBC and Oregon State. Oregon State languished throughout this race, but they've come back to kind of exert themselves a little bit, and in fact they do jump in there and hold off the crews that were challenging them. But it was an impressive row by the California A crew. Folks, make sure you head over to the Karl Strauss Beer Garden and try one of their tasty brews while you're taking in the rowing action on the water here at the 40th annual San Diego Crew Classic. And by the way, Chevrolet is here. Yes, indeed. You may drive and test drive a brand new Chevrolet 2013 Bolt, Cruze, or Traverse. And if you take a test drive today at the Chevrolet booth just outside the main gate of the San Diego Crew Classic, they will thank you with a $10 voucher good at San Diego Crew Classic concessions and beer garden.
Minutes.
Our show producer here, on the big screen, has done an outstanding job not only directing his crew on the races, but we also have done some photographs of the 40 years of programs and logos here at the San Diego Crew Classic. And occasionally, if you take a look at the Jumbotron, you might see some of these logos and t-shirts that are coming up. These are indicative of the 40 years of artwork that we've enjoyed here at the San Diego Crew Classic. And hopefully we'll have those come up here shortly. There's one of them.